Namaste everyone. Welcome to Satsang today. Guru Shimuji Baba ki Jai. I don't need to say anything actually. Like I was sharing the story the other day. I feel all of you heard it or read it. So I won't go the full version. But there was this very learned, accomplished seeker who once went to this sage called Yajnavalkya. They had quite a struggle to spell, but now they all know the spelling. Yajnavalkya. So they went to this sage. This accomplished seeker will say, great sages, and they have taught me a lot. But they said that if I want the ultimate understanding, I have to come to you. So please give me this blessing of this ultimate understanding. And the sage Yajnavalkya is just sitting quietly. And disciple feels, maybe he didn't hear me, maybe he's old, so he must be hard of hearing. So then again he repeated the same thing. Please, Master, give me the ultimate understanding. All the teachers I went to have told me that you are the one who can show this to me. And again, sage is just sitting quietly. So the disciple asked over and over again, till he got irritated, angry. I was wrong, I heard wrong from all these other teachers. They are obviously wrong about you. I'm begging you, I'm imploring you for the final truth. And you're just sitting here smiling. You must be very egoistic, the disciple tells the master. Then the sage speaks. He says, I'm answering you. I have answered you every time you have asked. But you refuse to listen. If you have truly heard what the other teachers have told you, if you really truly have some insights in your heart, you must be able to hear the answer by now. You see? So this silence is the starting point for that which we call direct satsang like this. If you can hear the silence, nothing more needs to really be said. But then some of you might say, I've woken up early in the morning, 3:30 a.m. and I logged on to this Zoom satsang. It couldn't have been so that I could hear this silence. So please, because I have taken this effort, You see, in the olden days, people would say, I have walked 30 miles to come to Satsang. Please share something. So if this silence is not heard, then the sage would say something like, you are the self, or you are Brahman, the absolute. And he would give it to you in Sanskrit if you're so inclined. Tat Tvamasi, that you are. That you are. Then also full stop. Nothing more to say. But then the disciple might ask, I don't see that. How do I know this to be true? I don't know this yet. Then the sage would say, the I that you claim yourself to be, the I that you are representing, who is this I? If you cannot find the ultimate truth, show me the false one. This is what we call inquiry. Who am I? What happens then? Most of you know. You go looking for yourself and you find God. Just like if you went looking for God, you would only find yourself. Then somebody might say, Master, this question, it sounds too intellectual. You see, I can't deal with this question. I'm not the inquiring types. Most of the time, this is a myth actually. Because the same ones keep inquiring, why me, why me, why me. So that inquiry is fine. But when we change the question to who, suddenly we become the non-inquiring type. But some truly are of a different temperament. You see? So to them, the master said, okay, for you, you don't have to inquire also. Just everything which you consider yours, all your problems, all your grievances, your body, your actions, your inactions, what others have done to you, everything. You let that be the master's problem now. Just surrender it all. Let go of everything. And as I've been saying the last few days, that as you remain empty of any notion about yourself, the non-conceptual truth is completely apparent. What you truly are is clear. There is nobody who is confused. Then the disciple might say, yes, yes, Master, but my mind is too active. It doesn't keep quiet. Please help me. Then the Master might say, let the mind do whatever it wants. You just let it come and go. He might explain the difference between attention and belief and tell you that even if attention is going to these thoughts, you are not yet identified. You can allow thoughts to come and go. Just don't serve them tea. Again, back to the silence. Same silence. It has nothing to do with outer silence. The outer silence is at best a tool, an aid to recognizing this inner being, this inner self. Then some might say that, no, even this, I can't let them go. The minute the thought comes, I'm just caught. I'm caught. And to not believe my thought seems impossible to me. Then the master might ask you, have you had any devotion towards anything in your life? And if the disciple said, yes, when I was growing up, I used to love Hanuman. When I was growing up, I used to love Jesus Christ. When I was growing up, I used to, whatever. Or even now, I'm a great believer in Ram, for example. So then the master might say, okay, with all my blessings, with all my heart, I give you the mantra of Ram. Whenever you feel that your mind is overactive and you have no control over your belief whatsoever, just take a few minutes and dissolve in Ram mantra or Krishna mantra or Jesus mantra, whatever you feel devoted towards. And because the Master's blessing is there and the names of the Lord itself have so much inherent power in them, activated by our own devotion, that you will find that with this kind of repetition, it feels like the mind is not so big, not so out of control. Now, some might even say, you see how this is going. So some might even say that even this, I have no concentration, master, no concentration. I start chanting and then all the emails I have to reply to, all the phone calls I haven't returned, all these things, they come back to me and I can't even chant at all. So then the master might try a different approach. He might say, can you put your attention to your breath for a few minutes? Just stay with your breath. So hum, so hum, so hum. Huh? The flow of the breath. You know by now, even this is not going to stop. So whatever the excuse is, the disciple might say, this is also not good. The master will say, okay, do something physical. Do Hatha Yoga. Yeah? Do Hatha Yoga, Surya Namaskar 108 times every day. And then, and then do some pranayama exercise. And you find that the mind will get better. And they, no, I'm too lazy. I'm not so inclined. The master will say, okay, sing some devotional song. Sing some songs also. Or just, if you can't even do that, have some gratitude in your heart for anything at all. Say to yourselves, I am thankful to God or Guru or my friends, my wife, my husband, my whatever, for this small thing. And I'd say just next one you meet, just smile at them. Instead of giving them a big fat frown, just give them a nice smile instead. But no matter what approach worked for you or works for you, whichever of these paths, or there are many more also you can try, whichever path you've taken, you will only always end up here. Which means what? Only with your own self. Doesn't mean that you'll end up in this satsang. I mean with your own self. That is all you actually have, because it is all that you actually are. So do you remember that start of that journey? So this is the play of spirituality. Is it? Now where you want to meet the master, that form of master appears in front of you. And there are many of each in each of these steps. And even this, you cannot hold on to as a concept. And based on how you choose to play next, which doubt, which but you choose to believe about yourself, the master's instruction, the master's pointing will change. The form of the master might itself change. Because every expression of the same consciousness expresses itself in a different way. But ultimately, all the true masters are saying the same thing. That reminds me, actually, maybe Omkar had posted something very beautiful the other day from Swami Ramdas ji, Papa Ramdas ji. I want to read a bit of that to you. So Swamiji is saying, what is self-realization? It is the giving up, the pretension that you are not the self, that you are a mere body. People say to me, you are God Himself. I reply, you are also He. We are not He, they rejoin. We are not He, they rejoin. What else is this but that they simulate for some leela of their own, what I call the play, hide behind a mask their real and divine nature. Sounds so similar to what we share in Satsang, because the reality is never changed. It is only this pretense, what he called the pretension, that I am not the self, I am the body, I am the mind. The master is saying that we are one, we are the same. But the mind will come and say, but I still don't have what he has. This is the nature of the mind. Until we are able to take the master's words in our heart and just look, what is true? The master says that I have no boundary. If I keep my belief system aside for a minute, what do I actually find? Seconds of open looking. So we are taking this example of the master saying that you have no boundary. Is it possible to keep our belief system aside for a few moments? The mind will come and say, no, you can't find this yet. You're too attached to the body. These sensations are too strong right now. Can you let all these noises from the mind just come and go? And check for yourself. Is it true that I have a boundary? Is it true that I am contained in something? Am I also an appearance? Will I also come and go? Any of these If you just check openly, without any expectation, without any concept or judgment, no inference, no meaning, then what Swamiji is saying, you are also He, will completely be apparent. You see? Because he did not say that there is anything really wrong. He just said it's a pretension. What is self-realization? It is giving up the pretension that you are not the self, that you are a mere body. He did not say that you have to find the self. Like Bhagavan also said, true knowledge is just dropping off the ignorance, dropping off the false. Knowledge does not have to emerge. You see, it is already there. The self is self-illuminating. People say to me, you are God Himself, he says. I reply, you are also He. You see, then the but comes, but we are not He, or I am not He. They rejoin. What else is this? But that they simulate for some leela, hide behind a mask, their real and divine nature. Now, he does not also say that you have to now proclaim that I am the self. It's become opposition. Dropping of the pretense is not picking up of another concept. Can we remain empty of all notions? This is our natural state. Our original nature right now is this. Right now you have no pretense. All that is gone. History is gone. Seeker is gone. Everything is gone. Masks are coming on the conveyor belt of the mind. Some are terrible masks of the unworthy seeker. Some are the fancy proclaimer. But both are masks. Let them come and go. And if you picked one up, what happened? Nothing. It is not the end of the world. So don't make a big deal about it. Because it is gone now. So no guilt, no unworthiness, no perpetuating the seeker identity based on something from the past. When I say that we have the best cleanup crew in the world, all your past, all your guilt, all your condition, everything is gone now. Which notion now is greater than your existence, your being? If no notion is greater than your being, why you want to exchange a notion for your being? Or should it be your being for a notion? Your being is here effortlessly. Are you going to put it in a box called a concept? And the idea comes, I've got it, or I've not got it. Is it? I'm just not ready for this, or I'm completely so done. You see, either position, it's just a play of notions. It has nothing to do with any real you. Are you with me so far? How many have lost me? Anything your mind is saying has nothing to do with the real you. It is just the mask salesman. The mask salesman is coming and saying, this mask now is worthy of you. This mask now is worthy of you. When are you ready to remain naked of these masks? It can only be now. So for 10 minutes, let's just keep quiet and allow these masks to come and go.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, before that.
This notion that I'm an Atma, is that a notion? Or
Yes.
is the dropping of the notion that
Yes.
the body?
Yes. If it is that thorn which you're using to remove other thorns, but your Atma is independent of the notion I am Atma. You see, your being a seeker is dependent on the notion I am the seeker, I want to find the truth. But the truth is independent of the notion. So your Atmiyata, your Atmaness is independent whether you carry the concept or not. You see? So suppose you didn't have the notion, you're still here. You see? Your Atma, your existence, your being is independent of the notion. This is the best test of the false versus true, isn't it? If that goes when I drop the notion of it, it was not true. You see, then at best it is a thorn that we use to remove other thorns and then throw it away. That's why Bhagwan used the examples of the stick used to light the funeral pyre. Ultimately, we burn even that stick. So if you feel like there are too many notions that you're still caught up with, but when I'm getting this identity and that identity and it seems very strong, and I remember I am the self, I am Atman, I am Brahman, whatever the notion might be, then if it helps to eradicate, to wipe away all other notions, good. Now that notion is also gone. So do we need to reiterate it? Not really, unless we are again getting embroiled in the jungle of notions again. I don't know, this example is coming up. It's like mosquito spray. There are lots of mosquitoes around, you spray it. But once it's done its job, these mosquitoes are powerless now. Then you don't need to spray anymore. Because Atman is independent of the notion I am. So if you need the mosquito spray, if you feel like it is too strong the idea, I am Jyoti, I am the body, I am my family, my relationships, my freedom, my all these identities are too strong. Then if you found something which helps to give the peace from all of that, to get all these bugs away, then we can apply. But even that cannot be something that, our truth, our finding of the truth will not be notional. Okay, so few minutes now, if my children can allow me to. How you want to play this? You want to play like we did the other day where we said if there is a really strong, compelling notion which you feel like you must believe, burn it in the light of your own seeing. Don't hide away from anything at all. Nothing that I have said must give you the idea that I'm proposing some sort of a denial. It is a full acceptance. Allow all things to emerge and let your light shine on them completely. No hiding, no running. Whatever the mind might be scaring you with or might be tempting you with, don't worry about it. Let it come with, with an inviting attitude almost. You're neither doing anything, nor are you not doing anything. Very good, very good. That which you are is all there is. That which you already are. You don't have to become it. Don't have to find it. Cannot lose it. Just lose your masks. Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai.
Sadhguru Shri Ananta Ji ki
Jai. Is that Katya with the baby? Hello. my love. All of our love and blessings to this beautiful one. Katya's baby. You know Nitya's friend, Katya? Yeah, I have that effect on a lot of people, don't worry. He's also feeling very sleepy. He or she? You told me, I forget now.